Think a little while back as you experienced the time when we had our great trade wars. Over 100 times across the United States and Canada, I went as an ambassador and an envoy of the so-called North American Free Trade Agreement, arguing that it was inevitable, that it had to happen. And everywhere I spoke and everywhere I talked, people time and time again came up to me to say, in fact, it must never happen. Protectionism, isolationism, the tariffs, the constraints, the restrictions, the barriers, all these things must stay in place if American business was to be protected, and, as they pointed out to me, if Canadian business was to be protected. And a lot of people said that that horrible instrument of international trade called the GATT, the General Agreement of Tariff and Trade, must eliminate itself if we were to see any kind of a future, because what it was threatening is worldwide global trade. Short time ago. Yet I stand on this platform today as a proud North American, knowing that we are part of the most economically visionary agreement of all time. We now have the North American Free Trade Association. We now have Canadian Northern operating in the United States of America, and hundreds of corporations in the United States operating in Canada, and a great consumer poised at the edge of that border of Canada and the United States called Mexico, saying, in fact, me too. Me too, because I can add, not just take away. I can give you benefits, not just features. And so the truth of the matter is that this flag has changed. Yes, indivisible, and yet it did divide. It divided by pushing back its boundaries to include the Canadas and to include the Mexicos and to include global trade. So in the process of dividing, it added. And by adding, it has changed the nature of business all over the world. It wasn't so long ago, was it, when we used to tend to think in terms of that flag of the foreign corporations, the Hondas of the world, that produced abroad but sold in the United States of America. And now, of course, in that short period of time, this flag once again represents a change in attitude, as American firms have thought local and global, acted local and global, opened up their boundaries to the extent that, as Roy pointed out to me, 80% of Honda production takes place within the United States of America, but the exports go abroad. Short period of time we have changed militarily, foreign policy-wise, economic-wise, and commercial-wise. But in each case, the options became limitless.